time, I never said that Taliaferro blew or anything like that. I just simply didn't want him. I didn't want him. And any subsequent comment that I made regarding Taliaferro blowing merely had everything to do with the fact that Marcus would not shut up about Taliaferro and offered him to me like 38 fucking times. And I just finally had to tell him, knock it off. So the moral of this is the desperation and the ridiculousness of this attempt at trying to call me out and make me into a fraud is, you know what it really does is it brings the league down. It brings the league down because we're built on talking shit and ripping on each other, and you want to fucking bring something about some other league into this business as if that's supposed to tear down my credibility? Fine. Make this league no fun. Be Captain No Fun Marcus, and we will not enjoy ourselves in this league. Christ, Marcus is just desperate, and he's a moron, and he had to search out fragments of details from a league that he isn't even involved in to try and back me into a corner, and that's that. So, talk about taking off the kid gloves, as Cooney mentioned. I think we need to take off the kid, or we need to put on the kid gloves, I should say, when it comes to dealing with Marcus. Because he's the sensitive one, allegedly, and he can't fucking handle it when somebody calls him out. I fear for the rest of this league because Lord knows the depths that Marcus is going to take with his pull in the sheriff's department to try and dig up dirt on us. Raffleson, I'd watch out. He's probably going to try and contact the chick that you lost your virginity to see if he can dig up any fucking dirt on you. Because God knows he's willing to go to whatever depths that he can. So, Cooney ripped on me for repeating myself, and I know I'm probably kind of repeating myself here, but I've thought so many things over this past 24 hours about that podcast, and I'm just befuddled at the fact that that this is how he chose to fucking call me out. So, enough about Marcus. I think I've made my point. On to Cooney. Talk about a fraud. Holy fucking Hannah, Cooney. First of all, Cooney said that Marcus totally destroyed me in his email. Solely off Marcus's rant in that email, I apparently have been destroyed. What makes Cooney a fraud here is that he used none of his journalistic integrity that he claims to have to really look at both sides of it. A funny fact that I want to kind of talk to you guys about, Cooney made that podcast last night. I listened to it. I sent him a text commenting on, hey, good job, you called me out, just getting a chuckle over it. And then Cooney either G-chatted or texted me, I can't remember, but he asked me if that whole Taliaferro thing with the other league was true, and if it was, I'm really a fraud. So Cooney ranted on his podcast about the Taliaferro thing, totally took Marcus's side of the story, and then after he recorded it, went and attempted to confirm with me about whether or not it was true. So, way to look into your sources first, buddy. Way to check into your sources after you've already recorded an opinion on it. Journalistic integrity at its best, folks. I think that we all know really now what we're getting into when it comes to Coon's Corner. Cooney also mentioned that the audio content in my podcast was garbage. And I think we've established that it was garbage because he didn't agree with it. And it fucking called him out and it boxed him up, and that's why my audio content was garbage. So again, it's just me. I've kind of documented a couple of things that I noticed from that podcast that were just fraudulent, and they can't go unnoticed. They have to be called out. Cooney also talked about how I swear a lot in my podcasts, and I swear in my video casts, and I'm repeating myself all the time and this and that. I'm sorry. This is what I am I don't want to say a lot. This is what I'm capable of doing. I am capable of having a podcast in which I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I can say whatever the fuck I want. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of being part of the Brendan Coon's Corner podcast, let me paint you guys a little bit of a picture of what it's like to be on the Brendan Cooney podcast. You want to come and be a part of guest host of the Bentley videocast, and you can say fuck, shit, gay, whatever the fuck you want to say. You can say it as loud and proud as you want. With Cooney's podcast, you got to snuggle in really close, and you got to talk really quietly into a microphone that's really, really close to his computer, because you can't wake the baby. And you got to watch the things that you say, and you got to watch the volume of your voice a little bit. And, let's not forget, we got to have the cell phone nearby, because Brittany might text me to tell me that we're being too loud or that the baby's awake. The fact that Cooney wants to call me out for swearing and repeating myself and being belligerent in my videocast, to me screams of jealousy that he has this Coon's Corner that's so sheltered and is fragile like a fucking vase, in which you can't swear, you can't say anything too demeaning, and you can't be too loud, or the boss is going to get fucking pissed off. And so, there's me throwing somebody under the bus and calling somebody out and putting somebody on blast. So apparently I'm incapable of doing that, though, just because last week in one podcast I skated around calling somebody out. Has anybody heard of the show Spin City? Spin City is exactly what fucking Cooney is when it comes to the things that he talks about. Let's talk about his rant about me using the terminology stats, and how Cooney completely fabricated a bit to try and back me into a corner. Yes, I did, in fact, say, don't have time, going to work, give me some stats and I'll look at it later. Subsequently, Cooney has decided to take all the things that happened after that and spin them in his favor, as if I was asking for him to provide me with some statistics. Those of us who have known Cooney for as long as we've known him know that Cooney uses the word stats for everything. For fuck's sakes, the kid's voicemail either still does or at one point in time said, "Hey, this is Brendan. Give me your stats and I'll call you back." You fucking idiot. You know exactly what stats means. It means give me some details. It means tell me what's going on. Tell me what you got in mind. A lot of times Cooney would be like, what are the stats for this weekend? What's going on? What's your stats for on Friday night? What's going on Friday night? That's a fucking terminology that Cooney has coined and used forever. But he sure spun it in his favor when it came to this fucking situation, didn't he? All of that bullshit that fucking Cooney said in his podcast about how he, provided me with stats about Brandon Oliver because that's what Bentley was asking for, but then he says he doesn't want to know people's statistics. That's just shit that he's fucking making up. You know damn well, Cooney, what I meant when I said give me some stats. I meant, let me know what you're looking at. Give me an idea of what you want in a trade. And that's exactly what you did. And you coming up with the whole 7, Brandon Oliver has scored 7 more points was just you trying to fucking say, like I said in my last podcast, trying to talk me into why it would be a good idea for me to trade McKinnon for him. And then you got butthurt when I didn't want to do it. So you spun that in your favor because you have the journalistic integrity of a fucking moth. So, I think that's all that I had as far as what Cooney was saying, but complete bullshit. That whole fucking Coon's Corner was a waste of time. Call me sensitive, Cooney. I am sensitive. I'm sensitive to people's bullshit. I don't deal with it. I don't handle it. I don't want to fucking deal with it. And I'm going to fucking call you out on it when you're talking bullshit. And that is what a quarter of your podcast was yesterday, was bullshit. That's my main question to you is, why are you so mad, bro? Why are you so mad, Cooney? Why are you hating on Bentley so much? You utilized a quarter of your podcast talking about me. 40-some minutes, I think it was 42 minutes was your podcast, and you utilized 11 to 12 minutes of it talking about me. You throw me under the bus without even checking in with me first. And yet you're pissed off at me, but I give you the fucking material that you need for your podcast. I am the spark plug of this fucking league. You know it. You know it. All of you motherfuckers know it. So you can get mad at me. You can fucking try and reach out to the other people in the leagues that I'm in all around, or you can fucking reach out to whoever you want to try and fucking dig up dirt on me. But at the end of the day, I am the spark plug of this league. I am the fucking integrity of this league. And back me into a corner all you want. I'm fucking coming out swinging, and I've got the stats to prove you wrong. So that's my rant for today. We're going to call her quits for the night. I appreciate you for watching. I completely and 100% fully expect some sort of reply from Marcus or Cooney or anybody else who wants to fucking call me out. And I also expect that it's going to be total bullshit, and very, very curious to see where the desperation lies ahead. So that's all for now. Peace out, dirty motherfuckers.